What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome to a FUT Champions Daily Knockout Squad Builder. What I'm going to be doing on my channel going forwards is building squads for the Daily Knockout tournaments and building squads for the FUT Champions. Some expensive, some cheap, some you will be able to use, some you won't be able to use. But basically just to give you guys a theme and an idea behind how to build your teams and how best to utilize and manipulate the stipulations that are given for the squad building. So if you could drop a thumbs up on the video, it'd be much appreciated. This is the formation I'm going to go with today, the 4-3-2-1. I've been struggling a lot with formations this FIFA. I don't know what I want and what I'm happy with. So I've been changing them a lot. Now, as you can see, I have already qualified. So the footage you're going to see is footage you know that I have qualified with. I didn't actually play FUT Champions on this account last week. You can see there I've only played 80 games. I've got 40 remaining, which will be this weekend coming up for the monthly prizes. I'm already into Silver 1 for the monthly, so this weekend coming, I will play until I get basically 14 wins to get me into Gold 3 for the month on my main account. But I've actually been focusing on my Road to Glory account on FUT Champions. You can check the link out to that is in the description below. So I missed out last weekend. I tried doing 80 games a weekend. I did it 2 weekends in a row, and honestly, it's just hell. It's whatever prizes you get, it's not worth it. There's no there's no price on time, as they would say. So, looking at the schedule, today's squad builder, and apologies for my hoarse voice, I've got a bit of a cold going on. Today's video, you are going to get to see this video before the Daily Knockout tournament ends. There are certain specifications. Now, you do get a gold pack and 1,000 coins for winning. You must have in your starting 11 6 players, at least 6 players, from one club, which sounds pretty harsh, and some of the teams I came up against, which we'll see in a second, were not put together very well because of it. But I'll explain some tips and tricks how to get around it in a second. So that is what we've got for today. The next squad builder challenge that I do, or not squad builder challenge, the next daily knockout squad that I do will be for this, which will be what are the specifications for this daily knockout? A premium silver players pack. That's awesome. Silver players only for this one, and then the final one is no entry requirements. Of course, we can build whatever team we want. Now, the weekend league this weekend, you have to have a maximum of 5 nationalities in your starting 11. So on Friday, I will upload a squad builder that shows basically a relatively cheap, effective team that you guys might be able to use in the weekend league. So that'd be pretty awesome. So for today, though, we are taking a look at 6 players from one club. We get a gold pack, 1,000 coins. Now, you have 4 attempts to do this. If you completed the first time, you are more than welcome to go and do it again if you think, hey, I want that gold pack 3 more times and that 1k coins 3 more times, because you get awarded it every time you win it, which I actually think is amazing. I just wish that they had these sort of tournaments as regular tournaments as well, not only as daily knockouts. But hey, that's EA for you. So that, guys, is the specifications for today's team. Now, into building the team, you can probably tell by the thumbnail, I went for a Real Madrid theme. I went in general with some legends, with some La Liga players, and in goal I have Jan Oblak. I'm not overly impressed with Oblak. For me, the key points in a goalkeeper: his handling, his positioning, his diving, his reflexes. Now, his handling and positioning are great. I feel like speed and kicking are irrelevant, like literally entirely irrelevant in goalkeepers. His diving and reflexes are quite poor, and what I find is goalkeepers with super high reflexes tend to be better goalkeepers than those that don't have it, regardless of the rating. Lloris, unreal with high reflexes. Begovic is amazing in this game. Butland is amazing in this game. And they all have very similar or higher reflexes than an 87 rated goalkeeper like Oblak. So he is indeed our goalkeeper. Now, in at right back, I have got Carvajal. We'll go through the whole defence. In at centre back, we've got Sergio Ramos. I believe I've got a legend at the other centre back spot. I do believe it is not a La Liga player, because it's Rio Ferdinand, and Rio Ferdinand is amazing. Look how many games I've played with him, 138 games. We're not even a full official month into FIFA yet, and I've already played 138 games, and that's without doing the 3rd week of FUT Champions, which is amazing. So I picked this defence, and I left both my fullbacks on basic chem style on purpose. I wanted to see and feel the overall difference of a player when they get a rounded boost, especially someone like Jordi Alba, rather than a concentrated boost through a chem style. because what you'll get with Jordi Alba is like basically +5 in every stat across the board with his 10 chemistry, which it doesn't mean 98 pace, 88 dribbling, it's +5 individual stats, but it's basically like 2 or 3 each one. So it's like 95 pace, 86 dribbling, 84 defending, 78 physical, 78 passing, and 72 shooting. It makes him, in my opinion, just a far better rounded player. So I wanted to test that out, which is why I didn't put a chem style on him there. Obviously, our first 2 Real Madrid players who fit into the team, Carvajal, again, basic chem style. First 4 games that I played with him were in this tournament. He played fantastically well. I wouldn't be opposed to people saying I would prefer a shadow or an anchor on Carvajal. He's only got 82 base pace. So, you know, with an anchor or shadow, that boosts it up to like 87 or 92. I would agree with, you know, using that, because I know some people really like their super fast fullbacks. With Sergio Ramos, I do put a shadow on him. I boost that pace up. He gets like 89 pace and like 95 defending or 96 defending. It just makes him retarded good. The only downside, and I say this not in necessarily as a downside kind of thing, but the only downside about him is his high attacking work rate. But as long as you're vigilant with how you control your defenders, shouldn't be a problem. And then Rio Ferdinand, medium, 6'4". I've got anchor on him because his pace, defending, and physical already so unbelievable that you just want to concentrate the boost to those 3 stats and boost him to be one of the best centre backs in the game. And he really is one of the best centre backs I've used in any FIFA anywhere, pretty much. So that, guys, is the defence for us to start with. We're then going to move into the midfield, where we do get 2 more Real Madrid players into this team, Luka Modric and James Rodriguez. For me, James Rodriguez, definitely one of the better players I've used in this game so far this year. 81 games, 14 goals and 17 assists. However, most of those games are as a sub. I used to use him on the bench because I've got like a Legends midfield, basically. So I use James Rodriguez as a substitute. 4-star skill moves, 5'11". I've given him Maestro because it boosts his dribbling, shooting, and passing, which is already very good. It puts it, I think it's like 91 dribbling, 90 shooting, and 91 passing. It's just obscene, and you can really feel it in the game. He's so good. And Luka Modric, I give the same. I know he doesn't have quite as good shooting. I wouldn't be opposed to people putting Hunter on Modric, get that pace and shooting above 80 as well. So then you got above 80 in dribbling, passing, shooting, and pace. Wouldn't necessarily be opposed to that, but you can see in the 8 games that he's played for me, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 goal contributions in 8 games, not too bad. I give him Maestro because I think passing and dribbling is really important in the midfield. That's just my opinion. And then the last player that we get in midfield, I had two thoughts between who I could put in here. I went with Patrick Vieira. I could quite easily have put Ruud Gullit in. I didn't do Ruud Gullit because I like a defensive-minded midfielder. I really do like someone in the midfield that's just going to break up the play. And you can see Vieira has much better defending and much better physical. Only a little bit less dribbling and a little bit less pace. The only thing that Gullit has head and shoulders above Vieira is shooting and passing. So, you know, it's not too bad. Of course, as well, he has 4-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot, whereas Vieira has 3-star, 3-star. But Vieira at 6'4", medium-high work rates with that pace. And then when I give him an engine, which boosts his pace, dribbling, and passing, you probably think that's not necessarily a smart chem style to give him. An anchor might be suited better for him. But his defending and physical are already so high for a centre midfielder that I need to give him something that's going to be important to me as an attacking threat as well as in a defensive threat. So more pace, brilliant. His dribbling is kind of irrelevant, but his passing's so bad that an engine is decent. A catalyst might be the super way to go. Boost that passing up as high as possible. Get a catalyst on him. Could be a lot better, but that's the midfield that I went with. We now have 4 Real Madrid players, guys, of the 6. And you could probably guess who the other 2 are. It's not particularly difficult. One of them is this man right here, Cristiano Ronaldo. We then also had Neymar as our left wing. And I don't really like Neymar this year. I'm not going to lie. I've been up and down with the players that I've enjoyed this year. I hated Bale to start with, and now I find him amazing. I've always loved Ronaldo. I love Neymar to start with, but I just don't enjoy him. You see there, 115 games, only 38 goals and 28 assists. He has played some left wing, some striker, some left forward. But in general, 5-star, 5-star, those stats, especially with a Hunter, puts him 99 pace, 94 shooting, 95 dribbling, you would expect more from Neymar. So I would be open to changing my left wing here if possible. I mean, I could go and get Ronaldo at left mid and put like Benzema or Suarez up front. Haven't really played about with that right now, but I probably will at some point. Cristiano Ronaldo, for me, the best player in the game by a long shot. You can see there, 149 goals for me, 149 games, 145 goals, and 34 assists. That's a benefit. It's more than 1 goal per game contribution, 1 goal contribution per game, which is amazing. And in general, with a Hunter card, that 99 pace and 98 shooting is just too much for people to deal with. And then Gareth Bale, I'd give a maestro. 118 games, 34 goals, 41 assists, and you might say that's very similar stats to Neymar, and it is very similar stats to Neymar. However, with Bale, as I say, I hated him at first. I didn't know how to use him. I was using him at right mid, right wing, right forward, at striker. I used him as a centre mid in the 4-3-2-1. I've used him all over the place, and only now have I found kind of like some kind of peace with how he plays, and I'm starting to enjoy him and understand how best to use him. And I've given him the Maestro Chem style for the simple fact that his pace is so far, like 94 pace is more than enough. You know, you don't need more than 94, but not many defenders are going to have more than 94 pace, even with chem styles. So boosting his dribbling, shooting, and passing up to, I think it's 95 dribbling. Sorry, no, I think it's 93 dribbling, 93 shooting, and 90 passing, I believe it is. It just makes Gareth Bale absolutely sensational. So this is the main team that I use, guys. My 6 players are from Real Madrid: Modric, Carvajal, Ramos, Bale, Ronaldo, and James Rodriguez. But for those of you that might be struggling to, like, you know, not have the correct positions, the correct players, etc., what you should do is go and get a team that suits you and have at least 3 players from your main club. Put 3 bronze, silvers, or golds as cheap as possible from that club in the team, and then substitute them out at kickoff, or 20 minutes or 30 minutes, or if you're losing and you need the subs on, substitute them out for players on the bench. Because if you've got, let's say you've got Arsenal as your team, and you've got Sanchez, and or let's say you've got Welbeck, Walcott, and Chamberlain up front, but then you had a BPL team behind them, and you're like, well, I can't afford Cech, I can't afford Bellerin, I can't afford Koscielny. Go and get 3 cheap Arsenal players, throw them into your team. If you then need to change them, you could just sub them out. So it's a pretty decent way. Obviously, it then means that you've wasted your substitutes, and if you get like injuries or stamina problems or extra time and such, you've got no subs left. But definitely is a way, because I saw people, and you'll see in the gameplay that's coming up, saw people coming in with teams with like really silly players in there, silver players, low chem, because they just fit in players wherever. And you're trying to qualify for FUT Champions. This isn't just a regular run-of-the-mill tournament. You're going to be coming up against the best of the best to qualify here, and you're not going to qualify if you build your team stupidly, which is exactly what we got in the gameplay coming up. But this, guys, is the squad that I use to qualify for FUT Champions. Let's get into the gameplay. Okay, guys, as we get into the gameplay, the first opponent we come up against has got a 4-3-3 or 181 team. He has gone for his chosen 6-man team as Liverpool: Henderson, Firmino, Lallana, along with, ex-Liverpool Sterling, doesn't count now. He's got Mane, he's got Matip, and left back he has Moreno, filled in by a BPL team. And although this game was quite close in terms of scoreline, it was definitely a relatively easy game for me. However, it was probably the hardest game of the tournament. Now, something that's interesting is I don't know if these tournaments are seeded or not. I message every person after every round asking them what round they were in. Sometimes people are in the same round as me, sometimes they aren't. The person I played in the final was also in the final, so I don't know. Like, sometimes people might just be wrong. Like, they might think they were in the semis and tell me that they were in the semis. I don't know. So what I'd like you guys to do is, if you have a game where you think you're in an area of the competition, like a semi-final or a final, and it's just too easy, do me a favour and message your opponent and ask them what round they're into, because I'd love to get some more information on what rounds people are in. We end up getting a 2-0 win against this guy, although you can see by the match stats, dominated possession, dominated chances. I'm struggling in attack quite a lot this year, which is surprising for me. Our next opponent, guys, into the second round has got a Dortmund team as his player, as his team. He's got a silver left mid, and this is what I was saying, guys. He's got 2 common players, a common CDM. He's got Mario Gomez as a striker, and I just saw that team and I just thought there's just I would be very surprised if I didn't win this game. Now, for me, formations are very tricky this year. As I said, during the squad building stage, I'm struggling in formation. I have tried extensively the 4-3-2-1, the 4-3-1-2, a couple of variations of the 4-3-3, the 4-1-2-1-2 wide, and the 4-2-3-1 wide, and I just can't find something that sits well with me. Every year I found something within the first day or two. Last year it was a 4-3-2-1. The year before it was the 4-4-2 or the 4-1-2-1-2 for me. It might have been the 4-3-3 for me even. The year before that it was a 3-5-2. The year before that it was the 4-3-3 again. The year before that it was a 4-1-2-1-2. Like, every year I'm coming up against, or I'm finding teams and formations that I love. This year I just can't find what works. Next opponent we come up against has got a 4-1-2-1-2. He's got Chelsea as his team, and I looked at his team and I was just like, there's no way I'm not winning this game. 3 of his Chelsea players are stupidly slow: Ivanovic, Terry and Mikel. And whilst I don't necessarily think pace is the be all and end all in FIFA 17, it's definitely important when you've got a whole bunch of really slow players. You know, there's got to become a point where you say, okay, having John Terry in a team that's relatively pacey is going to be alright. You'll be able to cover for his mistakes. But having 3 of them, I don't know about that. And this game didn't even last too long. And this is another one where I was like, this is the semi-final for me. And this guy ended up rage quitting at 2-0, which was surprising because of like how deep into the competition we were. Like, I don't know, I thought he might have tried to fight to get back into it. We end up scoring such a sick goal there. Neymar doing the Okocha flick over the defender, gets past him. I tried to shoot with Neymar, rebound ended up going to Bale, the opponent rage quit, and that moves us into the final. So we win 2-0, 2-0 and 2-0 on our route down to the final. But this year, guys, as I say with formations, I'm struggling to find what is good for me. Each formation seems to have very good strengths and very good weaknesses, or very bad weaknesses rather. Like the 4-1-2-1-2 is great because that CDM sits so deep. It's very good defensively, but offensively I feel like I'm short in midfield and I lose a lot of midfield battles. 4-3-2-1 I find is very good unless you play against someone who uses and abuses the wings, because even though you do have a left forward, right forward, they're so narrow that all of your players are like bunched up in the middle and you end up just being exposed down the wing, so you're exposed heavily to counter-attacks down the wing, and it's just pretty tricky for me to find the right formation. Interestingly, I've used the 3-5-2 in draft a couple of times and it's been unreal, yet I'm scared to use it in like competitive play in FUT Champions in case it's just not something that works. You know, I'd hate to go to FUT Champions with a 3-5-2 team and then walk out with like 10 wins from 40 games or something because the formation's so bad. So let me know in the comment section below, guys, what is your favorite formation? What are you using and how effective are you with it this year? We end up getting the first goal in this game, which was a pretty AIDS goal. Second goal, although it was a rebound goal, was actually a really, really good goal. Really good team passing move. You saw at the start my opponent had 5 at the back. You can see by half-time mark, I'm just absolutely in control of this game. Yeah, he had 5 at the back, so it made me work really, really hard to get my goals. And this mistake, I showed this on purpose. Like, this is something I need to eradicate from my game. Rushing the play. Fortunately, I was 2-0 up. I ended up giving my opponent a goal. If the game was 0-0 right there, I would have given, you know, if that was FUT Champions and I needed a win, you know, 90th minute, 80th minute, 70th minute, I've given my opponent a goal there. That's the sort of thing that I need to eradicate, that other people as well complain about a lot, that they need to eradicate. A lot of people are like, hey, you know, this game's AIDS, this is AIDS, my keeper can't... That was my mistake. But anyway, guys, I have qualified for the weekend league. It was a very nice team. I did it relatively comfortably. Didn't really face an opponent that gave me any problems at all. Obviously, I have Real Madrid as my team, which is amazing. But yeah, I didn't really face any problems. This, guys, though, is going to be the end of the video. If you have enjoyed this, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.